In high-rank combat, the main ammunition type is the finned discarding sabot shell. But can other types be useful too, like high explosives for instance? Obviously, they would do fine against anti-air and IFVs. But how about top MBTs? Well, it's no secret that high explosive shells can damage vehicles via the thin roofs of their hulls and turrets. Let's check out the most vulnerable spots on MBTs of all nations and see how effective it can be. And our first target is the M1A2 SEP V2. You can destroy it by sending an HE at the driver's observation devices, at the wide turret ring, and numerous elements on the roof, including the gunner's optics, the panoramic sight, the commander's cupola, and the armor plates next to the machine guns. All these areas make the Abrams vulnerable even when it's hidden behind tall obstacles that shield its main profile. The Leopard 2A7 and the STRV-122B+ are much better protected. They have fewer protruding elements than the American tank, and their gunner's sights are further ahead of the turret's thin roof. Their weak spots are their observation devices, machine guns, and some protruding armor elements. Breaching their hull roof or turret ring is a very tricky task. The driver's observation devices can be hit, but if a shell lands here, it only knocks out a single crew member. The T-90 and the T-80 BVM show a stark contrast to the previous machines. They can be easily damaged via their hull roofs, but their turrets are almost invincible thanks to thick armor and numerous blocks of reactive armor. These tanks should have no trouble using shelters that leave their observation devices and machine guns exposed. The Challenger 2E and the Ariete AMV have similar results. The sights of their gunners can hold hits well, but other protruding elements, including the turret roof armor plate, are vulnerable to HEs. The Challenger's hull roof is shielded by the turret's front, so its only vulnerability is the area around the driver's hatch. The Type 10 and the ZTZ-99A can't boast good resistance to high explosives. The turret roof can be breached by hitting almost any prominent element. The hull roof is doing just as poorly. The turret ring is basically one big vulnerability. When facing the Leclerc Azur, it may be quite hard to tell where its turret roof is. Aim for the commander's hatch and the lower part of the panoramic sight. You can also achieve a breach if you hit the protruding armor element next to the roof machine gun. As for the hull roof of this French MBT, it poses no issue whatsoever. The Merkava Mark IV has a turret roof that's fully protected against high explosives with a thick layer of composite armor. However, its turret doesn't shield the entire hull roof, so we can't call it invincible. So let's sum up. Is it wise to use high explosives as main shells on top tanks? Of course not. But having a few on your racks might be handy. For instance, if you encounter an opponent out in the countryside where they expose their turret roof. Also, keep in mind that other types of ammo have a high explosive fragmentation effect, like heat rounds. That's why almost every high-rank tank has a useful auxiliary shell in its arsenal. And what high explosive shells are your favorite? Tell us in the comments, and see you in our next video.